This week, another brilliant piece of content creation. And this is more like along the wrestling sphere. Yeah. There is a podcast called Call Her Daddy.
Right.
Call Her Daddy at one point became like the number one podcast in America. Now, number ones are tricky because they're algorithmic based. Yeah. So they judge how fast you accelerate.
Right.
In other words, if you're a brand new podcast, a lot of times you can jump to number one because not a lot of people were listening to you. And then now you have, let's say 100 listeners. Going from 0 to 100 is super fast acceleration. Going from 90 to 100 is not that fast acceleration. So you're not going to get the same thing. That being said, listened to by a lot of people. It was on Barstool Sports. The girls that did it were these two girls that just talk about like sucking dick and fucking and like, you know, fingering turkeys and all that kind of shit. And it's one of like the girl whore podcasts, very popular genre of podcasts. They get into some beef with Barstool, which I'm kind of the reason for.
No.
I am kind of the reason.
Did we talk about this whole thing?
I told you guys earlier. I told you guys earlier. I'm kind of the reason for it. We'll get to that later, but you break down what's going on.
Okay, so in short, basically Portnoy finds these two girls as they're starting the podcast. He's like, all right, I'll take a chance on you. I'll give you guys the thing. So like they started doing the podcast independently. He's like, all right, I'll pay you guys money. And they get signed on a 3-year contract. They're making $500,000 a year plus like merch and all the other stuff. So they're not getting paid nothing.
Yeah.
So they're making $500,000 a year. They're doing the thing. After 1 year, they're like, all right, we want to renegotiate the contract. We're not happy with this. They want like the IP for the show. They want more money. They want all this stuff. Portnoy's like, nah, we're not going to do it.
But who pushed them to do that?
So this wasn't found out till later, but like as like the time goes on, they're like trying to renegotiate more and more. And then basically it's found out that Sophia, the brown hair girl, is dating this guy, Peter Nelson, I think, this HBO exec. And and he is now shopping. He's shopping their podcast around to different places, trying to get more money for it. So he goes to Wondery and they're like, all right, we'll give you more money for the podcast. They're signed to a 3-year contract and they're trying to break the contract. And basically they just stopped doing these episodes for like 5 weeks and cost them a bunch of money.
So they stopped doing the episodes for 5 weeks. Obviously they had like, you know, pre-existing ads. Yep. They maybe chalked it up to Corona. Dave Portnoy offers them a few more deals.
Crazy deals.
Like very lucrative deals.
He's like, yo, I'll cut you guys loose 6 months early. You can have the IP. Like no one gets the IP. And he was like,
that's the thing. We got offered a deal very early, and the money was dog shit. But my main issue was they fuck you at the beginning of all these deals. The IP is ours, is what they always try to say.
Yeah.
If you sign that deal, you're a fucking retard. You have to keep your IP. That's just what it is. So for them to give it back, Dave to give that back, he really did not have to.
No.
I own your entire podcast.
So
I could swap you out. It don't matter.
I'll cut you loose and I'll give you everything.
Yeah. That's generous.
I want to talk about the IP thing in a second, but yeah. They said no to the deal. They still want to go somewhere else. Yeah. Right. And again, I don't know all like the nuanced bullshit. I'm sure they're back and forth. Portnoy goes on their feed.
Yeah.
Because he has access to their feed and drops an episode where he explains everything that's gone on their feed.
That's so brilliant.
The feed of the, you know, number one podcast in the country, right? Right? They can't access their feed. They're locked out of their feed.
Well, here's why I think that's so brilliant, because we've all been in a situation where somebody can control a narrative and you're kind of outside of it. And he can go on his IG,
but now he's on yours.
Now he's telling his side of the story to the same people that have only been getting your side of the story.
Right.
And it's so petty that most of us wouldn't do it. But I respect anybody so much when they do that.
I love it.
Oh, God.
So he breaks that down, etc. And eventually, I guess, communications break down. So then I think Barstool goes, all right, fuck it. You guys are locked out. We have you for 3 years.
We own your IP.
We own the IP. Yeah. I don't know how deep their contract is. Maybe it's so deep that they're not even allowed to podcast if it's not through Barstool.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's my question. Because like,
but we'll get to the IP discussion in a second. I just want to go back to why I'm the cause of all this. So anyway, let's back up. I don't know, over a year ago. Definitely over a year ago. Been with my girl a year, so definitely over a year ago. Way over a year ago. So this is what happens. I match with a girl on this dating site called Raya, right? Cute chick, brunette, attractive, right? We talk a little back and forth. We're texting. Everything's cool. She asks, or I ask, one of us asks, maybe it's me, I don't know, to like, let's hang out. Or we agree to go hang out a certain day. I think it's Tuesday. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Yeah. Go, okay, let's go hang out. It's like 7:00 on a Tuesday. And I'm like feeling really comfortable on my couch. And I'm just like, I started watching maybe a game. I think there's a game coming on. And I was like, you know what? I haven't watched a fucking game in a long time. And I've been working so fucking hard. I just want to like sit down and chill tonight. So I text her, hey, I can't do it tonight. I'm sorry. My bad to, cancel on you this late. That's on me. I'll make it up to you, something like that. But I just wanted to fucking watch the game. I didn't want to go on a fucking date, right?
I want to rest.
I want to rest. I'm a tired guy.
Yeah.
Not to mention I knew I was going to be my soulmate in the future. So it's not like, what am I doing with this time right now? So apparently, this is what I hear. She's like in full makeup, ready to go. Really pissed off. So she calls this guy who's been hitting her up nonstop, but she's been ignoring like crazy, that works at HBO and is this executive named Peter Nelson. They meet up. They go on a date. Things link up. It's beautiful. They're in love. They find their soulmates. You're welcome. Right? He gets in her ear about the success of the podcast and all of a sudden tells her, yo, you got it. This a year later, you got to leave Barstool. They're taking advantage of you, etc. Basically, I caused it. I caused it. Like in the Ice Age movies where like there's that little fucking rat running around. He pushes the acorn in the ice shelf and then it kind of breaks.
Yeah.
I'm that.
What's interesting is you normally want...
I'm the acorn and the little rat.
You normally want credit for good things.
Yeah.
Right now you want credit for destroying 2 careers.
Wait a minute. I want credit for Portnoy's great content. You're welcome, Portnoy. How do you rate this pizza? But isn't that crazy? That's super small world, right? Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I did not cause this or anything like that.
Crazy.
But how hilarious is it that
crazy coincidence.
Like in the small podcasting world that already exists in New York, that this crazy event could somehow be tied back to us?
Yeah.
Like directly. It's not that indirect.
No, it's crazy. It is a very small world. That's a crazy sequence of events. This exec is a loser. It's all adding up.
Now, how is reality different if you decide to not watch the game and you go on the date?
I probably have an HBO special by now.
That guy owes you a special, yo.
Real talk. Maybe I gotta stop fucking all these execs girls.
But you didn't. You canceled on her.
No, I didn't do it.
You don't cancel on her. He doesn't meet his soulmate. HBO should love you.
In all seriousness, it's very easy not to have sex with executive girls because they're gay. No, but they are gay, right? Like
I love independent Andrew.
They're all, dude.
I love indie Drew.
They're all gay or girls. Oh, I heard like every exec at Comedy Central got fired last week.
I mean,
what the fuck?
Hey, man.
Checking off the list.
Tick, 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 tick.
Nah, man, I don't want to dance on nobody's grave, but that's what you get, you stupid ass bitches.
Because now you got it. You don't want to dance on the grave? Hit it. Hit that shit, bro. Let's dance on the grave. Let's dance on the I can't do it. Do we have space back here in the wine?
Nah, bro. It's not enough. You need space. I need real estate for my shit, yo.
Here's the gravestones. Here's your gravestones. You ready? Come on. Hey, here's your gravestones. Here's your gravestones. Hey, I can't do it. I'll just fucking Macarena.